I want to talk about 1974, 1975, when I graduated from a very tiny college in Fulton, Missouri. Now, 74 and 75, economy-wise, is just like it is today. I went into school knowing that I needed to be a teacher. So every one of us, or most every one of us, came out in 74, 75 from my university as teachers. But guess what? Nobody wanted teachers. There were enough teachers all over that we had to think of something else. Couldn't be teachers. So, while I had the opportunity to be a substitute teacher every once in a while, when I graduated, my dad said, okay, I put you through college, you're out on your own, see you, goodbye, let me know what you're doing. All right, I had to get creative. One is I had that degree in secondary education. Two, I had a major in English. And three, I had a minor in equestrian studies. Now, what was that? Well, my tiny university said, in an entrepreneurial way, let's bring in and let's do some things with horses. We know that people like horses, so let's do a program. So I was on the beginning end of what became, you could get a degree in equestrian studies. Okay, I'm out. Dad says you got to make your own money. What am I going to do? Can't get a teaching job. Maybe I can get a teaching job in teaching kids how to ride horses. So that's what I did. I went out to stables and around and said, here I am, I minored in this, are you interested? Somebody said yes on a part-time basis. That did not cover my rent. So then what did I do? I said, okay, what's the next thing? Well, maybe I could sell clothes. Well, there was a boutique in town and they sold fur coats to people. I lived in Chicago and it was cold in the winter. So I didn't know how to be a salesperson, and I learned how to be a salesperson. But all of a sudden, I get a call from my aunt, who is working for the man who is the publisher of Crane Business Magazine in Chicago. And she says, you know, Art Mertz wants to talk to you. He does? Yes. He's interested because you have a minor in equestrian studies. Okay. And this is the guy, he publishes this big newspaper. So I call him up, and I say, hi, it's me. And he says, listen, I and a bunch of guys are going to start polo in the Chicago Armory 6 months out of the year. We're going to bring horses in because we can't leave to be with our horses when they go to Florida, wherever they go. Well, first of all, I thought polo was Ralph Lauren. What did I know? Even there was horses. I wasn't exposed to that. So I said, okay, what do you need? And he said, well, I need somebody who's minored in equestrian studies to come on board and manage our polo organization. Me? Okay, I'll do it. What do I need to do? Well, we've got about 150 horses and a number of people that come in, that bring horses in and out. We're going to put on a show every weekend, and there you go. Okay, I guess I can't teach riding anymore, and I guess I won't be selling furs. So I stepped into that job, and wow. Wow. Problem was, it was 6 months out of the year. At the end of the 6 months, when it got warm, they would take the horses out of the armory, and then they would play them somewhere else for the summer. So I had to find a job in between. That was okay. I did it for a couple of years. And then, on that second year when I was done, and they were taking the horses out, I get a call from a friend who says, want to be in a movie? Okay. Do they pay? They pay. All right, well, what do? Well, didn't you read in the newspaper? The Blues Brothers are coming to town. The Blues Brothers, Dan Aykroyd, and John Belushi are coming to town to make this movie, and if you want to be in it, come with me, because we're going to go sign up to be in a movie. Okay. I went to sign up to be in a movie. I was going to be a star. Why not? Until I found out that multiply this room by 20, and you got 600 people that also wanted to be a star. And then it was me. All right, I filled out the forms. They took my picture, and they send you home and say, we will call you. Now, you want to know what this has to do with all this, right? Come on, we'll get to it. They said, all right, we'll call you. We're going to give you a call. You come down. You're going to be in the movie. And I got the call. Now I knew for sure I was going to be right next to Dan or John Belushi in that movie. Well, they called. It was for a night shot. It was the crowd scene, if you've ever seen the movie, where everyone's going to visit and they're going to go see the Blues Brothers play at their concert. Problem is, John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd never showed up that night. We were just the crowd scene walking in the door. And we did it one time, and we did it 20 times, and 4 nights later I was still there with all of the other 600 people getting it right. Walking in. What? Okay. But what happened at that moment, somewhere in those 4 nights, I said, I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to manage polo. I don't want to work in a store. I want to be around the movies. And I got to figure out a way. Well, I figured out a way. Because if one movie was coming to Chicago to film, perhaps there would be more. And in fact, I could hear the buzz around some of the crew people who were going to come back to Chicago on another movie. So I did what anybody would do. I went home after that last night and said, well, I was an extra. It's about the only thing I know. So I'm going to print up a business card. It's going to say, Casting Chicago. I'm calling Hollywood and telling them that I am the casting director to cast in their next movie. Yeah. Okay, well, I made a telephone call, and I can tell you that it's a whole other story about how it worked, but it worked. I became the casting director. There was a niche. I was from Chicago. I convinced somebody that I knew what I was doing. I showed up when I was told that I couldn't work on a particular movie, but if I came by, they'd meet me. Well, that movie that I came by was a movie called Thief with James Caan. You might not know that particular movie, but I stood by when the film company came into town. I was there whenever I could help them. And then when they left town, I got a call a week later. Hey, kid, you said you were a casting director? We're coming back to reshoot 3 days in a courtroom. I need you to get me a bunch of sleazy lawyers. They're going to be in a scene, and I'm going to send somebody. I'm going to send a casting director to help you. And if you think you can do it, then you can do it. Well, 2 things happened. One is my dad happened to be a lawyer. I asked him for a bunch of sleazy lawyers. Come on over, Dad, close down the company. Come on over, you can be in a movie. The other thing is, I listened and learned. And those 3 days of working on that film gave me the relationship to do 35 films that came to Chicago. 35 films between 1978 and 1985 when I sold the company to my partner. So to you, I say, before I get on to this one, to you, I say, you are in an exciting time. Oh my God, if you're graduating now, don't let the thought of, oh my God, I can't do this, or there's not this job or that. Just be open. How about saying yes when someone offers you something? You never know where it's going to lead to.